How does forgiveness manifest long term? I guess you really stop hating the person. Just to give a very short answer. Forgiveness manifest. Here's why we have trouble forgiving. There's a very simple, obvious reason why sometimes it's not easy for us to forgive. And that is because, well, first of all, if you admit that really Krishna did it, that even though someone, let's say, acted really badly toward me, and their bad behavior is really bad behavior, and that person, at least that moment, is really a bad person. I mean, originally spirit soul, and the soul is there, but what they did is really bad. It's not just it looks bad, it is bad. However, there's another layer. That's at the human level. At the spiritual level, Krishna used that, perhaps that reprehensible person, to, because I had to experience something. And so that, I mean, that person was not thinking, oh yes, I want to help this, I'm going to rip this person off, I'm going to betray this person, I'm going to abuse this person, but my only motive is just to help them to understand Krishna's mercy. No, the person was really doing something bad, so I'm not confused about that. But from a spiritual point of view, if you see that it's really Krishna, ultimately Krishna used that person as an instrument, and therefore it's not that I necessarily love that person's behavior. I mean, to be really, thank you for abusing me, I am eternally grateful. That's kind of a tough one. It may not even be healthy psychologically. But rather, I think that you should think that ultimately what really matters is my relationship with Krishna, and so that person's really irrelevant. I mean, it's like if someone sells you a ticket, let's say, to fly somewhere. I mean, you can be polite, but ultimately it's not about the ticket agent, it's about where you're going. And so if someone is just an instrument, at the same time, obviously, we should avoid people who are abusive, or if people have traumatized us or abused us, or just really been jerks. I mean, if I can just use that common language. If someone is really misbehaved, then we should avoid them. We should not tolerate or accept any abuse. Absolutely not. In the name of Krishna's mercy. I mean, you do your best to get out of there. If despite all your best effort, someone still somehow or other has harmed you or mistreated you in a certain way, then, you have to think of Krishna. But we avoid abuse. We don't tolerate abuse. But after all is said and done, if you really see it as Krishna's mercy, if you really see it as Krishna's mercy, not just theoretically, theologically, but really emotionally in your life, then the person who did it to you kind of becomes irrelevant, like they don't matter. Because what really matters is you and Krishna. And there's that famous verse, that Tattenu Kampan Susamikshamano. There's a famous verse about that. That one who is Bunjane Vatma Kritang Vipakam, if you are experiencing, Bunjana here means experiencing, if you are experiencing sinful reactions or reactions for what you've done, and yet you think, Tattenu Kampan, that is Krishna's mercy. You really believe that. Tattenu Kampan Susam Ikshamano. Ikshamano itself means seeing it. But Susam Ikshamano is like very emphatic. It means like very completely or very much in every sense, seeing it that way. So Susam, these two Sanskrit prefixes make it extremely emphatic. Susam Ikshamano, you're really seeing it that way, really. Then, and Hridvagvapur Bir, with your heart, with your words, and with your body. Vidadhan Namaste, you go on surrendering to Krishna, literally bowing to Krishna. Vidadhan Namaste. Jiveta Jo, one who can live their life in this way. A person who can live their life in this way. Jiveta Jo means one who can live in this way. Jiveta Jo Mukti Pade Sadayabhak has become a rightful heir to liberation. In other words, liberation has become their right to inherit. So when we suffer abuse or any kind of injury, injustice at the hands of other people, again, we try to avoid it, but if it happens, if you can really see that as Krishna's mercy on you, then you become a very advanced Vaishnava. So I think it's not so much forgiving. I mean, the emphasis is not actually on, forgiving, although Kshanti, it's actually one of the qualities of a Brahmin is forgiveness. Shamodamatapak Kshanti means forgiveness. So we should forgive, but really the Shastra emphasizes even more than forgiveness is seeing it as Krishna's mercy. And if we also understand that the person who did it was obviously a miserable, ignorant person, at least at the time of doing that, well, what are you going to do with them? You forgive them, and especially see it as Krishna's mercy.